Fawn
and Matt. We're an interracial couple with 2 kids wanting to do something that highlights the power of friendship and what it means to be in the company of true friends. We're going to move our society away and out of the loneliness epidemic and into a friendlier, happier world. Welcome to our friendly world. Better, stronger, together.
Yoo-hoo! Welcome back to the safe embrace of our friendly world, everybody. Hi. Hello?
Hello.
What?
You're being very expansive with your arms right now.
You're
and
looking
almost
at me
pushing me off.
What? My arms are open to you.
You were like this.
My arms are open. Oh my gosh.
We're going to be feuding, fighting, and fussing today, folks.
Oh, today?
But only today, because love is winning.
Love is winning. Love is winning.
Yes?
What's on your mind?
So, welcome to the inner workings of Matt's little mind. So I've been thinking about the 7 deadly sins. Oh my goodness. Everybody knows them, but nobody knows them.
I don't really know them, actually.
Exactly. Nobody does. Everybody's like, oh, yes, the 7 deadly sins.
And is that just a Christian thing, or is it all the religions?
Christians kind of picked this one up and ran with it. They might have invented it. I don't know.
I'm going to have to ask my friends.
There you go. But there's pride, greed, wrath, envy, lust, gluttony, and sloth.
Okay.
Where are we going as a society?
Oh my gosh. Come on, let's be a little positive here.
What?
Oh, we're switching roles today.
What?
I have been negative for
Negative
months.
Nelly.
Are we switching?
I don't know. Are we?
I don't know. I guess that's the balance of our friendship, our relationship, our marriage.
Yes.
We're yin and yang.
Yes.
Always like.
I'm always right.
Okay, so what were you saying, Matt?
I'm always right. Anyways, I was thinking about it earlier and looking at them, and of course the 7 corresponding virtues. This thing just goes all over the place. But as a society, so on the other side of the coin are the 7 virtues: humility, charity, patience, kindness, chastity, temperance, and diligence. Where's fun? Where's friendship? Where's familial connection? Where's all that good stuff? It's
all in there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where?
First of all,
patience for family, for sure.
Why are you giving me that fist?
We're gesturing today.
No, I think part of being human on the planet, being here, being a human being, you're in relationship with other people. We're in it together, humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So friendship is in there. We all experience all these emotions and all these stages in life because that's part of being human. You have the spiritual and the physical. And it's a dual thing. You have to harness the evil and you have to harness the good. And you have to know how to work with both of them being alive as a human being. And yeah, of course, friendship is in there because all of that stuff comes up in friendship inevitably unless you are a Sadic, do they call them Sadics?
Sadic?
Hasidic, like a spiritual leader, like a very highly evolved, like a Messiah or something. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're that, we all experience and feel all these things. And I believe we choose to feel all these things. It's like, I've always, ever since I was a little kid, I always thought being alive as a human being is like being in the Olympics. It is a privilege to be here. And if you can think about it like you chose to be here, every hardship, everything we're experiencing is like an athletic feat.
Interesting. But now let's take a look at, I think, popular big one. Not necessarily the biggest, but certainly one that I want to focus on. There's a meme that talks about living in your parents' basement, which slots right into sloth, which is just this kind of element of laziness. I think as a society, we're starting to really kind of embrace that as a thing.
Well, we were talking about this before. I think we're skipping a step because we were having this conversation in the kitchen upstairs just like 30 minutes ago.
Right.
We skipped a step. We were talking about, before you got into the whole sloth thing, we were talking about AI, right?
Well, yes, we were. And AI is enabling sloth.
Did I skip ahead? Am I skipping
No,
ahead?
not at all.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to address the guy in the basement thing.
Yes.
Should I do that later, or
No,
should we talk about the
have
whole
at.
AI thing first?
We can certainly. Okay, so AI is a brilliant, lovely, wonderful, twisted, evil thing
And this is coming
all
to
at
you from
once.
a major computer programmer, Matt. You're not feeling very good about this. I mean, you were feeling good about it a couple months ago. What happened? Now you feel like doom and gloom.
The spammers are using it. The people are using it. We're seeing.
But you knew all this would happen.
I knew all
and
this
you were
would
positive
happen.
about it.
It's just
What happened?
I think it's coming into, do you believe man is fundamentally good or fundamentally evil?
I think that going back to what I said before, you have to harness both of them.
You have to harness both of them. I would say man is fundamentally
you know
lazy.
what? I wouldn't say evil. I think evil is actually quite rare. Bad, and even there's no good, there's no bad. But, if you really think about it. But evil, no, I don't think. I think most people are good. Their actions are bad. But I think that's part of being in physical form is you're balancing all of that. So,
and I would tend to agree. I just think about lazy, honestly.
okay, so what's wrong with using AI to do stuff? Because this is what we were talking about in the kitchen.
It depends on the stuff. If I'm trusting AI to multiply together 3 and 3, because I ask it every single time, what's 3 times 3? Maybe not the best use of it, and maybe I should have figured that one out myself.
But isn't that how we learn anyway? Like, as a kid, you're like, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. It's by repetition. Something told you 3 times 3 is 9. So what's wrong with AI telling you it's 9?
Because
and then when you get the answer, then you know the answer.
Yes.
So how is that different?
It's the difference between AI teaching me 3 times 3 is 9 and AI telling me 3 times 3 is 9.
Okay, this is why I always failed math, because the teachers I had, I would ask, well, how do you know it's 9? Can you explain to me how you got to this result?
3 groups of 3.
And no one, I'm not talking about 3 times 3. Now I can't remember. I think it was when we got into geometry and algebra. I'm like, why are you telling me to like blindly just memorize this equation and don't ask me questions?
Right.
Like, who came up with it? How did they come with it? How do we know? Why are you asking me to blindly follow this way?
Right.
As a person like me, I don't do well with authority, so I don't do well with you just telling me something, usually, right? I don't know. I was accused lately of being brainwashed, but that's another story.
Oh, dear.
Politics. Anyway, what? So
I think it's about balance and checks and balances, basically. But I think about...
But you're still learning.
Are you?
What's the difference between a book or a teacher telling you it's 9 and AI telling you it's 9?
I think it's about the whole internalizing and remembering. The 3 and 3 is 9.
And if you ask it enough times, I mean, we kind of went through this with the kids again, right? So we've now entered a realm of homeschooling where they're almost done. Right? They're way ahead. They can graduate high school right now. But we went back to some basics because I forget that they forget. I'm like, I taught you guys this when you were 5 years old. You don't remember, right? So we'll go back. And the other day at dinner, what word was it we looked up? We're like, go look it up in the dictionary. And then you start to spell it. I'm like, Matt, don't spell it. Have them figure it out the way that we were forced to figure it out. Like, you were given a word that was like obviously so hard. And they're like, just look it up in the dictionary. I'm like, I don't even know what letter it starts with. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the word right now, but...
Well, this one wasn't so bizarre, but yeah.
But they made you look it up, right? And you had to keep looking until you found it. And as a kid, it was such a waste of time. Just tell me how to spell it.
Wait, hold on. Was it a waste of time?
Yeah,
Why?
I think so. Because I just wanted to know how to spell it. Just tell me how to spell it. Yeah, I could have been doing other things. I'm an artist. Tell me how to spell it. And this goes against what I just said about the equations with the algebra. But again, it's the same thing though. The dictionary is telling you, who are you? How did you come up with this? I don't know. I'm just going to follow what the dictionary says. Same thing. I'm going to follow what the teacher says. Just tell me how to spell it. Add a little caffeine.
You did.
Add some tea. But as far, and then, well, in the kitchen upstairs, we were talking about how AI can just take over things. And I was saying, well, I see your point.
Mm-hmm.
Not with the education, though. I saw your point in other things because, of course, we were in the kitchen. I was cooking while we were talking. I'm like, yeah, I'm using this food processor. Guaranteed, if I chopped everything that I'm chopping up in this food processor, I can do it in seconds, first of all. But if I did it by hand, it would taste totally different because my hand is touching it. My energy is touching it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in total contact with it. Part of me is in it. And then when you use a machine, there's a separation. And then I said, I bet you that's why if you grow your own food, it tastes different than if you buy from a factory made, like mass produced, whatever it is you're buying, like vegetable.
Right. Bread, it doesn't matter.
Bread. No, I'm talking about vegetables right now. Things that you can grow. If it's done on such a mass scale with a bunch of machines without human contact, there's something missing. You taste it. You feel it, don't you?
Yeah, honestly, you feel it. And also when mass production takes over, then they make different choices. Like you want a thicker skin on your oranges so they could survive falling 6 feet into the tractor trailer that pulls it away.
Well,
Things like that.
Well, now we're talking about adding chemicals and stuff into it. And I don't even want to go there.
Well, no. This is natural selection, picking only the ones that have the thicker, or that strawberries once upon a time were teeny tiny and now they're bigger because it just makes more financial sense to breed a bigger strawberry, even one that's not as sweet, because you can sell it for more money.
I totally see what you're saying. Okay, yeah.
So natural selection takes over.
So we were talking about this. And what led to the guy in the basement?
Well, that's just it. I think as a society, we're running this ragged edge of
Laziness.
becoming more lazy.
Oh, well, and then I said, it's not about being lazy. It frees you up to do things that you want to do. And then, there's always is the word dichotomy. There's always I'll say something and then I'll sound like a hypocrite because I just said, it's better to do things by hand. It tastes better, but then I'm using the food processor.
Yes.
One, because we have kids, I have things to do. I have all these work assignments that are due today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an hour where it would take 30 seconds, It's a give and take, much like the good and the evil, right? You got to harness both and figure it out.
But here's where it gets scary. We don't have any guidelines for responsible use of AI.
That's true, right?
We don't have any. I mean, we do have, okay. There's 1 or 3, but not on the personal level.
Wait, can you hold that thought? Because we skipped over the laziness.
Well, I was going to get to the laziness.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
But no, it's totally fine. We're seeing students using it to write papers. We're seeing, in the same way that when I was in school, I copied from World Book Encyclopedia the entire digestive system entry in the encyclopedia because I had to write a report on the digestive system. I didn't put it in my own words. I didn't anything. I wrote it. I just copied it. It was terrible.
So you plagiarized?
I plagiarized.
Which is not okay.
Which we've identified as not being okay, but
okay, so...
But I didn't get caught.
But people using AI,
mm-hmm.
First of all, we were talking about music. People who use AI to create music from the words that are created to the actual sounds and instruments. And the thing is that kids can hear the difference immediately. And it's like I told you, like when I worked with Horst at the Aveda Corporation, he would always say, your body knows the real deal. When you're around the true source of something, and then you're around something synthetic or you're around some falsehood, you immediately know that it's not real. And I think, yes, the kids are so good about spotting it out immediately and saying, why are you listening to an AI-generated music? just walking across.
Right,
You know,
because there's a tone on it or something,
yeah,
right?
they can hear it. We can't. There are some frequencies that kids can hear that adults cannot hear. Now I forgot what I was saying. What were we saying?
I was going to laziness, and
What did you say before this? I was saying you can tell the difference. I had a point.
I'm sorry, babe.
But going back to, like, for example, writing papers, people can tell. And also, there are programs that can immediately say this was AI generated.
But it's an arms race.
And also, what does that mean?
Meaning one side is going to get better, then the other side will get better, then the
Right.
first side gets better, then the other side gets better.
Okay.
In an inevitable race to the bottom.
I get it. But doesn't it still free us up to do other things that we're meant to do? After a while, wouldn't you get bored with that? Like, after a while, don't you want to use your craft and not depend on something else?
What if I don't have a craft?
Everyone has a craft. And I think it gives you more opportunity to find what your craft is instead of what society pushes on you to be a writer, to be a famous pop star, to be this or that. I think it'll give people some introspection to be able to know what it is. And maybe who cares if you don't have an obvious talent that is worldly recognized? What about just going back to human connection? Would we have more time to have relationships with one another? Which kind of, can I go back to the basement thing? Because you were saying, well, it'll just cause everyone to be lazy. And you said no one would do any work. No one would have a craft, is what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like the guy living in his mother's basement, just playing video games all the time. And I said, guaranteed, Matt, that only happens when you feel like you've been shut away as in society because you're hiding in that basement. That person is hiding in the basement. If they were accepted and they were loved and they had girlfriends and boyfriends or embraced, there is no way, usually, that they would be hiding in that basement. They would be out doing stuff.
And here comes the double down. Are you ready for it?
Go ahead.
I'm on a social network on my games in my basement. I hang out with my crew in cyberspace.
Everybody wants physical contact. There's a reason why we eat food and we drink water and we need sunshine. No. That's done because it is controlled and it's because I feel like it comes from a place of fear. You control who you're talking to and they don't see you, do they?
Right.
Or if they see you, it's a manipulated image of how you want to be perceived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for example, like a snapshot to appear as, you know, that little circle.
Yeah,
that appears
and
with your name.
even in my video conferencing software, I can set filters and soften and sharpen.
Right.
And
You're controlling that as opposed to being in the world and just being completely universally embraced. And if you're not embraced, you have confidence enough because you've had that human contact, that you've had that back and forth relationship where you can handle, again, going back to handling the good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
You have to master both sides. You have to master both forces. So when you are not liked or if you are criticized, you have had enough of the embrace and acceptance that it doesn't bother you as much. You're able to bounce back quicker. And again, it's like having a party. If you're used to giving a party, you're used to taking care of like the food and having a centerpiece cake and like figuring out how to make an enjoyable time for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that all the time, it doesn't bother you that the cake fell on the ground and splattered everywhere. Oh, well, you keep on going because it's just another day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You move along. It doesn't devastate you. Whereas if it's your first and only party and the cake falls down on the ground, it's over. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with relationships. If you get into the habit of being out there and exposing yourself, you are able to become more flexible. What's the word?
Plasticity?
Plasticity.
Or elasticity.
Elastic. Like, what was that? Remember the Super Friends? wasn't there like
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man, able to stretch and bounce back, right?
Yes.
Anyway, that's my idea.
You're not wrong. I just see AI as being perhaps a completely new game changer.
It is new, but I also think that you're going into this with a mindset of we're going with the old view of human consciousness. I am going to keep the faith and keep the hope that our consciousness as a whole is rising and we're becoming more enlightened. So you can't look at it like how we were in the dark ages going in with AI. You have to look at it as we're becoming evolved, compassionate, loving beings going into it with AI. And therefore, you will have a utopian society, perhaps, rather than the dystopian one that you're seeing at this moment in time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Especially now, because I think that there's such fear
Well,
in the world.
We have to watch our filters, and you're right. And I was thinking about this earlier. And I could, again, double down and tell you, but the internet 20 years ago or the World Wide Web was supposed to da-da-da-da-da, and look at what it's turned into.
Yeah,
but
wasn't it supposed to be for pornography only?
No. The internet started as a way for colleges to easily communicate with each other. How it really, really started was in case of a nuclear attack, they wanted to make sure military bases could talk to one another.
But then the porn industry got a hold of it.
Of course they
right?
did, because that's what they do, and that's what they're going to do here too. That's what they do. They're very savvy that way. But anyways, but by the same token, for every single like doom scrolling site, there's online banking, there's Wikipedia, there's Post Secret, which I'm a big fan of. There's communities that aren't toxic that you can find that I've been parts of. I discover all my new music online now through a curated site. So there are goods. So what was that song? You take the good, you take the bad, take them both.
Don't
and there
say
you
it.
have.
Don't say it. We can't pay for that.
Because I've got two options right now. We can either become Mennonites or...
Hold on, folks. I see a spider in the middle
Yes,
of the
you do.
room that's just coming down between us. Do you see it, Matt?
I do.
I'll get it. Wait, if I move, I'm not going to see it because it's in the perfect light.
I can see it.
Do you want to get it or should I get it?
You get it.
I'm scared.
I
Okay,
know.
hold on. Do you have paper?
No, that's the problem. All right, chicken.
No. Ah! Oh!
He's dead. Okay, he's dead.
I'm sorry.
Now he's on my hand, so
Please
I'm going to want to
forgive me.
wrap this up quick.
Why don't you rub it on your jeans the way you normally do? With stuff?
Eee! No, so what I was going to say is, I've got kind of two
Are you
choices.
going to sit there with that on your
What
hand?
else am I going to do? I can go upstairs and wash it off my hand, but then I'm gone for minutes.
Just rub it on.
No.
We don't have any.
Exactly.
All right, let's make it quick. Wrap it
Like
up.
I said. Jesus, woman.
Don't say that.
Woman. Okay, so I've got two choices. I can attempt to where your
Where your focus
things go
goes.
where your focus goes.
Like this podcast and the spider.
Yes, spider all over the place. But anyways, your attention goes where your focus goes. Or wait, what's the saying?
I don't even know anymore.
I'm way off balance. This is going to come across as a drunken rant of a podcast, isn't it? Anyways,
What you focus on grows.
what you focus on grows. There you go. So I guess I can either focus on being a Mennonite and going way back in time and calling everybody English, or I can move forward and embrace and try and figure out how to maneuver in the new reality.
I think we need to move forward with the faith that we're all becoming much lighter than we were. I mean, think about it. Even, I don't know, when we were kids, no one knew meditation. Now meditation is like in everyone's
What are you talking about? I learned about
vocabulary.
meditation when I was like 13.
Did you really?
I did.
How? Oh, the Kung Fu.
Well, Kung Fu had some meditation in
All
it.
right. Our generation, not our generation, I'm talking about our parents' generation.
Yes.
There is no feeling. There is no emotional. Let me see how this sits with me, or you know what I'm saying? It was a
Right.
completely, they had different vocabulary. I can't think of all the examples right now. My mind is blank. But they operated differently. They had different vocabulary. They did not operate energetically as much as we are now. Now everything is about intuition.
Right.
Are you looking around for more spiders?
Yes.
All right. I have a fear of spiders, you guys. Okay. So there you have it.
There you have it.
Let's just be more positive and
Yes.
have more faith that we are better. And especially now, since it is so divided, especially in the United States. I'm sure in other places too. I've been noticing in other countries that it is divided, the left and the right, but it's really not.
But in the end, we all fruit.
In the end, we all fruit. A quote from one of our favorite movies, My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Thank you.
All right, we will speak. Matt still has a spider in his hand. We will speak in just a few days, and if you want to reach out and say hello, please do. We'll talk to you soon.
Be well.
Have a beautiful every day.
Okay. Can I get the spider off my hand now?